It's brought more meaning to come from where I was to where I am.
You know, I mentioned how business owners tend to run away from the idea of being told how to run their business by journalists. It's also been my observation that many business owners run away from being told how to run their business by academics. I'm curious, you seem to have embraced this pretty easily, pretty quickly. How? Why?
I guess it made sense from a standpoint of some of the key tenets were things that were important to us at the outset. The joy and work piece being number one, thus being in the helping people business. That part jumped out at me right away. But the other components of the Deming method we didn't have in our business. So it's like, how can we use this system, this method, to allow expansion of joy and work? So that was the piece that jumped out at me, and I hadn't really seen that in other things I've studied, other methods we've looked at as far as how do we wrap our head around. We've been in business for 13 years, roughly, when I met Kelly. How do we put a system in place to go about this in a methodical way so that we can expand joy and work for our team members? They can go work at a big system somewhere else, and why would they want to come to work for us? To make a difference for individuals' lives and have joy in that. So that piece is what jumped out at me. It's the first thing I read that jumped out at me in the book. How can we go about this in a systematic way? It made sense to me. As Fred and I were talking earlier, it seems easy when I was sitting in the seminar, but the constancy of purpose becomes at the forefront because you really have to keep working at this process. But it's fun. You see little changes, you see some big changes, you see challenges, but you have a way to go about working the challenges. I don't feel like we're in a crisis mode. Some of the things that have happened in the last couple years prior to being exposed to Deming would have been a crisis for me. To Fred's point, there would be a lot of high stress. Now when things happen, I have a construct to work within, a way to go about solving the problems, and I don't go home with my hair on fire, so my wife appreciates that, and my boys do. To Fred's point, the family was one of the big motivators for me too, is how do I get my hands around the business rather than the business having its hands around me. So I guess the focus of the joy of work, the purpose, really spoke to me of how can I use the entire Deming philosophy to allow for joy and work for myself and for the team members, which also allows for the product that we offer to allow joy for the outcome of the clients.